Hello, our fellow Stickies. This is Sticky Red Dude, not Sticky White Boy, and with me today is
Sticky Prism.
And today we'll be doing a game review on Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2. Sticky White Boy will not be joining us because he decided to backtalk us, so we locked him in a closet.
Piece of trash.
So basically, right now is gameplay going on. I'm Vegeta, and Sticky Prism is Goku. And Raging Blast 2, it's a good game, you know, great fighting game. It has tons of customization to it. Like, there's over 100 characters, and each one you can customize to have their own appearance, not clothing or anything, but facial expressions. But like the aura around them, like how my character is blue, you can change the color of that, and you can customize their super attacks and improve their fighting skills to basically be stronger in like the melee field, Kai, super attack, defense, and like basically make the character how you want it to be. It's a big improvement from the first one. The first one was a good game, but they made the graphics a lot better in this one, and the fighting style a lot better.
Yeah, I love the fighting style in this one. It's my favorite fighting style out of any Dragon Ball game to this day. How it works is you have health bars, which is the green, and the stars above the health bars is how many you have. So each character starts out with 3 typically, unless you upgrade it. And of course the goal is to get the person down to their last health, in which you win.
No health at all, basically. And the yellow bar underneath it, which you'll see here in a minute, is their Kai. And the Kai allows you to do certain special attacks, you know, like blast and other different like homing attacks that are available, and also produce Kai blast and signature skills. Now for each attack you have to have a certain amount of Kai. You can't just go right off the back and do a special attack. And if you you can charge your Kai up, that way you can do the attacks obviously. And if you charge it up good high enough, you are able to do your ultimate attack, which is your strongest super attack. Which each character has all their different ones, so it's not like everybody just does one blast. Everybody has like their own different attacks, which is like along with the tons of customization that's available.
And but when you charge up to get Kai, it also leaves you very vulnerable. So the second way to get Kai is to use rush attacks, which is your basic attack
of melee.
Yep. And that'll also gain you a little bit of Kai at a time.
Like if you notice, as one of us attack each other with melee, the Kai progressively gets that much more. It builds up that much more. So if you charge your Kai, it's a lot faster, but it leaves you basically defenseless. And if you use your melee, it builds up progressively, but it doesn't let you be vulnerable. So each one has its advantage, and each one has its certain time when it's okay to do that. Compared to the first one, like there for like a storyline, that's what it basically was. Like the main, it goes through all the sagas that Dragon Ball Z, like the whole series of Dragon Ball Z went through. Like the Saiyan Saga, Android Saga, Majin Buu Saga, the Broly. It also has ones from the movies like Broly, Bardock, Cooler, and stuff like that. However, this one, it has Galaxy Mode.
Yeah, Galaxy Mode is where for each character you can pick, and they have 10 or 12 levels focusing on that character. And some of the levels towards the end might have different twists, like you start out with less health while the other person starts out with more. But the problem is, it doesn't really, if you haven't seen the series, you don't really get that good of a background knowledge.
And that's a good thing about the game itself. Like if it has this thing called a museum, and you can view like pictures that are from the series, and it also gives you character bios on every character. Now there are over 100 characters, so it might be quite a lot of reading if you want to find out about them, but it is worth it because the Dragon Ball series is a great series overall, and the games are very well too.
I think where this game really shines though is multiplayer. That's where you can go in. It does have an online. You can customize your character like how you want, the different customizations we talked about earlier, and then you go in with your character and see how you do online. Now, what's great about this game is it's a really easy game to just pick up because of the tutorial system. It doesn't force you into it, but it is there. but it is a very hard game to master. And if you want to get really good on it and go MLG, it's going to take a lot of time and practice. Tons of playtime.
Yeah, along with the different customizations you can have for your character, there's also tons of different combinations that you can have as you're fighting. Each one having a certain amount of melee hits, dealing a certain amount of damage, which can lead into a certain super attack. There's like tons of different combinations. It's like there's so many different combos you can do, like it's almost insane. Like you'll probably forget that you could even do one of them.
Yeah. Now, comparing it to the other Dragon Ball games, like Budokai Tenkaichi 3, it's a great game, it's a great fighter. I do think this is more of a solid fighter because of cancels and stuff like that. Better fighting style. But what Budokai does have that this one doesn't is a bigger character roster, because it has characters from Dragon Ball and GT, which Raging Blast 2 mainly focuses on Dragon Ball Z characters.
Yeah, you know, so if your favorite character is per se like Super Saiyan 4 or Vegeta, it's not going to be available on this game because it only focuses mainly from Dragon Ball Z. There are some characters from other movies that weren't necessarily Dragon Ball Z, but, you know, so that is the downside, that you don't have every character that was available. But there still are over 100 characters, as you saw when we were selecting those. So, I mean, and each one, with having its own customization, you can basically... It's a hard game that'll die off. Like, it came out in 2010, and I still play it to this day. You know, like, I think I got it in 2011, because, you know, I didn't really hear about it. It wasn't that advertised or whatever. But I still play it. Like, I played it on PS3, and obviously now we're playing it on 360. And it was like, it's a hard game that it's like a game that you can't really get tired of. So it's because there's so much different customizations you can do, and you can still play people online, you know, so you never get tired of playing new people, basically, new opponents and other stuff to improve on.
Something also to think about is the different games also have different characters that weren't actually in the show, like special characters. So like for instance, this game has Super Saiyan Broly, Super Saiyan 3 Broly, and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, which were really cool additions because, you know, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you've always wanted to see them.
And they were never actually introduced in any, like, series or movie that was made by, you know, made into... They weren't in any series or movie, is what I'm trying to say. And yet they included them in this game, which they were in the first one as well, Raging Blast 1. And it is a great improvement. You know, they're much loved characters in the game. People like to play with them. They have cool styles. They're obviously very powerful. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you know Super Saiyan 3s aren't just anything to deal with. But yeah, it's definitely a great improvement that they had.
It also comes with an exclusive movie that comes with it, with Hatchjack.
And yes, it's a movie that was, I think, primarily made for this game. If not, they added it on to the game for a reason. Hatchjack is the character in the bottom right that you can see right now. We didn't pick him because, you know, it's just not our type of style. And the movie it's a full-loaded movie. It's unfortunately in Japanese, and the characters sound like they're all 9-year-old boys. So it's not as intense as if any of you have seen the series with their high-quality, not high-quality, but like high-power voice and blast. It's more like a child. That's what it sounds like. But it's still a good thing to watch, just to learn extra things. And in order to unlock the character Hatchjack, you have to watch the video. So, I mean, it's worth it after all just for watching it, so you can have all the characters and get the achievement or the trophy.
Yep. There's a pretty wide variety of stages. Each one covers almost every fight in the series. So every fight that took place, there's pretty much going to be a stage to cover that you can do. So you can relive like your favorite battles and stuff, which is awesome.
And that is a cool thing. When you go to Galaxy mode, like how we said, there's about 10 to 12 missions per character. Each one ends up leading to a boss mission, which in the saga, that character was like, that was the most challenging foe they had, and probably the last foe that they usually ended up fighting. For example, like Team Gohan, obviously, you know, the hardest person he had to fight was like Cell, and his boss mission is against Cell, which actually makes sense. Or like Tien, he had to fight Cell in his second form, and that's his boss mission. So I mean, and also when you fight them at the stage that they pick, it's also the one that they fought in the series. So it is still based along the storyline, but it's not exactly the storyline. Like you pick one character, you don't just go through like sequential. And I bet it's a fun thing to keep track of, and like, cause as you go through Galaxy Mode, with each stage that you pass or foe that you beat, you unlock new stuff for the character or for the game, and it definitely adds even more customization than there already is.
Yeah. So I guess let's get to the verdict. For me, I really love this game. If you're a fan, definitely pick it up. If not, it's still a great fighter. I would give it about an 8.9.
Yeah, even if you like you said, if you haven't watched the series, it's never too late to jump on Dragon Ball Z. You know, it's a great series. It doesn't matter how late you start to watch it, as long as you finish it, obviously. It's a great series, great game. I definitely rate it like about a 9 out of a 10, because compared to other fighting games, its action-based is very well. I definitely recommend it, especially if you're a fan, and yeah, it's a great fighting game that you would definitely be interested in, no matter what. Well, that's it today, Stickies. Subscribe, like the video, and be tuned in for another one.